The new 107.1 The Boss, classic rock of the 70s, 80s, and more. It's Michele Amabile on the line. Caleb Johnson. You know him from American Idol. He is going to be at the Bergen Pack on May 15th. It's a special occasion because Caleb will be appearing in WRAT. Meatloaf presents the music of Meatloaf. He's going to be singing all the songs with the Neverland Express. And this is a very special show because Meatloaf is going to be in attendance, and it's super rare. He never does this, and he's doing it for us right here in New Jersey. How lucky are we? And the last time I saw Caleb, it was at American Idol, and he was going out on the road to open for Kiss. Caleb, how was that tour?
That's like one of my, all-time favorite classic rock bands, and, just getting to share the stage that they, play on night after night in an arena was just over the moon, It's ridiculous. A lot of fun.
Well, you are having a lot of fun with Meatloaf right now. Tell me about how you hooked up with Meatloaf, because right now you are being featured singing the songs of Meatloaf, and WRAT, Meatloaf presents the songs of Meatloaf.
Yeah, Meatloaf. So this show has been about close to almost 2 years now, and originally got the call from his musical director, and he was like, "Hey, we're putting a show together. Would you be interested in doing it?" And I said, absolutely, because Bat Out of Hell is like probably my top 5 favorite albums of all time. So when he asked, it was a very easy, quick yes. And so we've been doing, I think we've only done about close to 10 shows thus far. It's fairly brand new. The shows have been amazing. The fans have been incredible. And Meatloaf will actually be at the first gig at the Bergen, doing a meet and greet, and he'll be telling some stories before the show.
Now, this is pretty special that Meatloaf is coming to Jersey.
Yeah, he hasn't done. I don't think he's done a show or been at one of the shows of the Neverland Express for maybe close to 2 to 3 years, I think. So it's gonna be a blast. We're really excited. This will actually be the first time I've actually met Meatloaf face to face.
No way, really?
Yeah, I've spoken to him on the phone a couple of times, and he's an amazing guy. Yeah, he's really given me a lot of advice on just the way to approach his music, and what he kind of said was he kind of just said that he's an actor first off before he's a singer, and that you have to take these songs and put yourself in the stories and create characters in the songs themselves, and that every song is a character, and really, really embody the stories and tell the stories that are intertwined throughout the record, Bat Out of Hell, and then also in, Bat Out of Hell 2, because they're all much so like little mini rock operas. And, you look at like Paradise by the Dashboard Light, that's pretty self-explanatory, in the sense of it actually being almost like a Broadway musical. So it's really, really cool, and I'm really, really excited and happy to be a part of this amazing show.
What is the hardest Meatloaf song to sing live?
All of them. I mean, they're, to me personally, in my, my opinion, I think Meatloaf is very underrated as a singer. I think a lot of people don't really give him the credit that he deserves. And to be bluntly honest with you, this is some of the hardest stuff I've ever had to sing live. And it's very, very challenging. The range in these songs are super, super difficult. And the amount of emotion that you have to put behind the songs is exhausting. I mean, he would give his all. I mean, every ounce of energy, whatever he had in his body, to performing these songs. And so you just, and I'm not even kidding you, after the show, I literally just want to lie down and take a nap because it's just a gauntlet. You're running a race, and it's definitely pushed me to my limits vocally and physically on the performance spectrum. And again, the fans are going to get a very high energy theatrical rock and roll show, and it's just going to be a blast. And we're really excited that this show has been able to come to fruition, and that Meatloaf is completely involved and 100% supports it and endorses it, and it's really exciting. We're really pumped about it.
I feel like you've really grown as a performer since your time on Idol and your debut record, Testify. Now you've got a new record coming out.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm actually really, really excited about as well. We, again, that record has been a labor of love. It's been close to 4 years in the making, and I really kind of started working on it in the fall of 2014. I went straight to Nashville after the show and started, writing and crafting the songs that would eventually, be on the record. And we just finished it a little over a year ago at Zach Brown's studio in Nashville, Tennessee. And there's a big difference in this record from the first record, because the first record was really more so just a product. It was just a product of the Idol show, and it really, in my opinion, didn't fully represent me to the full capacity of my artistic and musician capabilities. It was very processed. There was some auto-tune on it, and the songs, some of the, there's some, I will have to say, there's a couple of songs on that record that I really do enjoy live to this day, but for the most part, a lot of it was just, fodder, and it didn't really fully represent me as the artist that I wanted to be as a recording artist, not as a performing artist. And so this record is the full package of that on the aspect of me as a recording artist. We did all these songs live on the floor. These are live performances. It's just me singing with the band, with background singers, and it's a very soulful, visceral, bluesy, gospel-y rock and roll record, very much so like Bob Seger meets the Black Crowes. It's really the record that I've always wanted to make, and we finally got to do it. And I produced the record myself with the help of my co-producer Brian Sutton, and just went in there and just knocked them out. And it was a great time, very, very fun experience. And I hope to get to make many more records that way in the future. And it's just really, it's the record that I think that a lot of the fans are going to be like, this is the record that we wanted from Caleb. So I'm just really excited about it. This is it,
I love the title, Born from Southern Ground. That's you.
Yeah, it was really kind of a love letter to the area that I grew up in, and also the influences that influenced me musically and artistically. And that's just kind of where, it's just like, especially like it's just a love letter to my roots and to where me growing up in Asheville, North Carolina, and just the music scene there, and growing up and listening to Led Zeppelin and Bob Seger and Pink Floyd and Rush and Aretha Franklin and Wilson Pickett. So it's all those kind of things where it's all in a melting pot of just really what I just said is a love letter to all those things. So this is the record that should have been made the year I won Idol, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm really excited that we're finally getting it out to the fans now. So I'm really, really stoked about it.
Well, you certainly have the pipes. My favorite performance ever was when you did Whitesnake, Still of the Night.
Yep.
You nailed that. Nailed that so hard. I'm just really happy that you've got this record coming out and that you're doing everything with Meatloaf and people are getting to hear you, because people need to hear your voice, because you've definitely got the pipes. And you're going to be in New York on the 3rd coming up, too. You're in New York today.
That's tonight, yeah. We just started a run with the Winery Dogs. Amazing band, Richie Cotton, Mike Portnoy, and Billy Sheehan. So like a power rock, bluesy, soulful, funky rock, hard rock band, the Winery Dogs. And just did 2 shows with them in Derry, New Hampshire. We're doing a show tonight in New York, and I'm doing a show with them on the 7th in Hopewell, Virginia. And then I've got a couple of shows coming up May the 23rd in Lancaster, PA at the Chameleon Club, and then May 24th in Lexington, Kentucky at the Manchester Music Hall. And then my record comes out June 14th, and we're doing a 2-night stand in my hometown, Asheville, North Carolina, at the Gray Eagle on the 13th and 14th of June. And then the next night we go to Virginia, or Hampton, Virginia, and do their downtown block festival, summer festival, right in the heart of the city. And then I'll be out with Buck Cherry in July, and then we've got some other really cool tours that I can't really announce that are in the works right now that I'm hoping to go through. And then I'll be doing the Winter Arena Tour with Trans-Siberian Orchestra November and December later in the year. So been pretty busy this year, and also just been busy, the past 4 years. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I've gotten to tour with Kiss, done shows with Cheap Trick and Sammy Hagar and Joan Jett and Blackstone Cherry, and just been out on the road, living the rock and roll dream, since the show. So it's been an absolute blast.
And I love that you're with the Siberian Orchestra. Again, we are talking with Caleb Johnson. I just love that you tour with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, that's been amazing. That actually has been in the works for 3 years as well, because they originally had reached out to me the year after I won the show, and just for whatever reason with contracts and stuff, I wasn't able to do it, and now I'm finally getting able to do it, so it's just been a blast. We did my first arena tour with them last year, which was just spectacular, so it's been awesome.
Now, I need to know how you were in the dressing room with Queen and Adam Lambert. That was in Vegas, right?
Yeah, that actually happened through Meatloaf's musical director, Paul Crook, who's an amazing guy, an amazing guitar player. He's best friends with Brian May, the lead guitar player of Queen. And so we had a show in Vegas, the Meatloaf show. It was actually one of the first 2 shows we did with the Meatloaf show, and it was in Vegas. And so we flew out to Vegas 3 or 4 days before and went and had dinner with Brian May. And then I went to see the last 2 shows of the Queen residency in Vegas, and got to hang with Adam. I hadn't seen him in a while, and hang with Brian and Roger Taylor and the rest of Queen, and so that was just really cool, and just get to watch the show side stage every night. It was just incredible. So it was a lot of fun.
Were you surprised to see that footage show up in the ABC documentary, The Show Must Go On, the Queen and Adam Lambert story?
Yeah, absolutely. It was just really cool. It captured a really cool moment where Adam had walked into the room, and he saw me and waved to me, and I waved back to him. And you saw that happen, that interaction happen through the mirror, so that you see that really cool kind of idol camaraderie of just, everybody supports everybody. And it's just a real pure, honest thing. It's just really, really awesome, and just being able to stay in touch with all the people from that show that has changed so many people's lives,
Are you still supportive of the new cast of kids that are coming through, like the cast from last year and the people competing this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I have, some of my personal, favorites, but for the most part, absolutely, I support them all because I was in their shoes just like them, a couple of years ago. So, absolutely.
You're still keeping up?
Win, lose, third, fourth place that changes your life indefinitely. So it's definitely something that I always get behind, and I'm always 100% supportive of.
Still keeping up with your prom date, Gina Irene?
Yes, keeping in touch. Actually, Alex and Sam actually came out to the show in Derry 2 nights ago. So I got to hang with them, and absolutely, I text Gina all the time and keep in touch with them. And Dexter Roberts is now on The Voice, so it's great. I get to hang with them whenever I'm on tour, and if I come to their cities, I always hang with them.
Awesome. Caleb, thank you so much for calling in and checking in with 107.1 The Boss. We'll always continue to support, and we'll see you at the Bergen Pack.
Well, thank you. I will see you there, and I apologize for the late delay there on the call. I looked down at the email. I'm like, oh, my God, I just missed this by an hour and a half. I'm like, oh, God. So, but thank you. Thank you for taking the call.
Absolutely no worries. No worries at all.
Cool. Well, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, rock on, Caleb.
See you, Michelle.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye. And thanks for checking in with 107.1 The Boss.